Konami just released some new support for Blue Eyes in the upcoming Blue Eyes structure deck, but these cards can be used in something like Buster Blader as well. And in this video, I'm going to be showcasing a combo and then a deck profile of what the deck will look like when this support comes out for Buster Bladers in the TCG. So let's just get started with the combo. It is just the one card Sage combo. This used to not be a one card combo, by the way. Back in 2016, we used to play this card because it got to the Buster Whelp, and in combination with Mausoleum, you would be able to normal summon that Buster Whelp and then get access to the prologue. But now we have access to it with the Blue Eyes Link monster, so I'm just going to showcase the combo with this card. So you're going to normal summon Sage. Sage is going to use this effect to get to Whelp. This is pretty standard, right, for 2016. But now, because we have the new Link monster, we can go into this and add the Mausoleum of White from our deck to our hand, which is pretty powerful for this deck. So now you can get access to the Whelp on this turn. So now we're going to activate the Mausoleum of White, and that's going to give us a additional normal summon for a light tuner, which is the Buster Whelp. So now we're going to normal summon the Buster Whelp, use the effect to add the prologue, which is our main win condition in this deck. And then now we're going to link into one of the best link monsters in the game, Herodic Seal. This card's crazy. And then we're going to set the prologue in pass. And then on our opponent's turn, we're going to use prologue. Prologue is going to send the Buster Blader. You can send the original if you want to play that one, but this one is just better. And then the trap card that is going to let you fusion summon from the graveyard. And now we're going to summon the Buster Dragon. You could also chain this in response to your prologue, which is fine, but you know, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. So you're going to use the effect of memories, and then you're going to fuse, and you're going to summon the fusion monster, which is pretty nice. And then seals can float into something like Magnemite, so that's also follow-up, so you can get to any of your dragon monsters. Maybe you want the any of the tuners, pretty much. Well, you could just normal summon that and then go into a hot red on the following turn, because the Buster Dragon will be destroyed by the effect of prologue, which is pretty nice. So now you just get tons of follow-up, and now you also have like another one card starter in this deck, which you had to play like Black Metal Dragon, which is fine, but it made seals, which it's I mean, it's good, but it doesn't get the prologue, which the Sage does now. So now you have two really strong starters in your deck, and as well as something like Prosperity can give you more access to stuff like prologue or other cards in your deck that are pretty powerful. So let's just get into the deck profile. This is the deck. So we're just running 40 cards. We're running the Bestial package because it's a dragon deck, so Bestials, dragons, they go along pretty fine. And then we're just playing 3 Whelp, 3 of the Sage, the 1 field spell. We're playing the Dragon Buster, which is a good follow-up card just to have another lock in case your opponent is not playing dragons. And yeah, it's just really strong. This card was a really big powerhouse back in 2020. This Buster Blader, which is pretty nice, it has a solid effect because it can equip your opponent's cards, so that's pretty nice. And then we're playing 3 prologue, the 2 memories. This is pretty standard for Buster Blader. Like, these ratios of these monsters are pretty fine. And then we're playing the 3 Bestial Lobelions, as well as the 3 Bestials of my choice. You could also play Surinair, which I have in the side deck as well, if you could find space for it. I just wanted to make this a solid 40 and have a couple of non-engines that can work on the opponent's turn, because this is a trap deck, so you need like something to go second with, and hand traps are just one of the best right now in the format. So now we're playing 3 Nibiru, 3 Imperm, 3 Ash, and 3 Effect Veiler. That is up to 15 hand traps, which is pretty standard for today's Yu-Gi-Oh right now. But this will later be like Prosperity. You could also play like other cards, like the Horus cards are really good as an engine. I thought about playing the Solar Hat Rabbit. This card is also really good as well as a link to you can get to if you're not locked into dragons. And then for the last 2 cards, it's Trap Trick and the Ruma Cannon. Shout out to the guy that got top at the Greek Open. He played Buster Blader with Bestials and Horus, and he talked about how Daruma Cannon was one of the best cards because it's just really strong. And because you're playing trap chicks, which obviously gets you to the prologue, you want to have another powerhouse trap card that you can search with the trap chicks. And Daru Mechanic is just one of the best cards in the game in terms of trap cards, so that is pretty good. And then also you can get Imperm as well if you want another option, which are trap trick. So now moving on to the side deck, we have, or not the side deck, the extra deck. We have 2 copies of the Fusion Monster. We have 2 of these Synchro. We have 1 of the Link Monster. Really good card for utility. And then we have the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. We have 2 copies in here because in case like this gets Imperm, you can go into a second one as well. So that is pretty nice. Then we have Pisty as well, just could be another extender. Seals being one of the best interruptions in a dragon deck. And then we have IP Masquerena with SP Little Knight, just generic cards. And then Azalea, Typhon, and then the Hot Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then for just a couple of notes that I wanted to make, like you can play Destruction Sword Flash, which is another interruption in combination with the Fusion Monster, which is pretty nice. It can just banish all monsters your opponent controls. It also gives you targeted protection, which is pretty nice. Black Metal Dragon and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You don't really want more normal summons in this deck because you're replacing it with the Sage of Eyes of Blue. So it's just something to note. You used to play this in the past, and yeah. And then again, you could play the Horse package if you really want to. The only reason why I'm not playing this is because these cards only get their effects on normal summon, but if they were on normal or special summon, it would be more, interesting to play them, because then you can use the Horus to potentially get into a Buster Whelp or a Sage with Eyes of Blue, and can get stuff in the graveyard like the Memory, so you can fusion summon on your opponent's turn and just stuff like that. You could also get Dragon Buster in the graveyard, so you can equip it with the effect of the Buster Dragon, which it says on your opponent's turn, quick effect, you could target one Buster Blader monster you control, equip it with one Buster or Destruction Sword monster from your graveyard. So yeah, I mean, the Horse cards are pretty good. Like, you can use them as bodies, as the Greek Open guy played. But yeah, I just chose to play more hand traps because this deck kind of struggles going second. So that is it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this deck. Will this deck be a counter for something like Tenpai? Because Tenpai is a dragon deck, and you don't really need to go into the Buster Dragon to lock your opponent. And it can be just really good in general against the meta, because locking your opponent out of activating effect monsters is just pretty nice, as well as having something like the Dragon Buster to lock your opponent. And you just have a lot of hand traps. Like, you have a decent amount of hand traps in this deck, so you can also stop your opponent. And Bystials are really good for stuff like Tier in the future when Snake Eye eventually gets hit, which is like pretty decent. So let me know what you guys think about the potential of this deck in the upcoming future, without Snake Eyes, obviously, because that is the running force in the meta right now. But I believe they're going to get hit on the August 2024 ban list. So that is it, guys. I'm out. Peace.